Hey guys, how's it going? Celtic Reviews, and sorry for the lack of uploads. I moved recently. Yeah, I left the Carolinas about 2 weeks ago, and I finally moved to my new place halfway across America. So this is pretty exciting for me. I'm stoked, and this is probably the happiest I've ever been in a long time. But that's not the topic of this video. The topic of this video is the newly announced HBO Max show Velma, and why it has no point and it's disrespecting the Scooby-Doo fans in general. Now, I am a Scooby-Doo fan. I've been watching Scooby-Doo since I was a little kid and still watch it to this day. Generally love Scooby-Doo, and you know, Scooby-Doo, they're not perfect. They've made mistakes in the past, but I don't think there's been no bigger mistake than what's going on right now at Warner Brothers, forcing woke agenda pushing bullshit on a cartoon that really doesn't need something like that. So, if you don't know, Velma, when it was basically being rumored and all that, and when people were talking about it, it was described as an adult version of Scooby-Doo, an adult cartoon, and that got me excited because, look, if you've never read the apocalyptic Scooby-Doo comics, they're phenomenal, they're dark, they're gruesome. I mean, this isn't the first time Scooby-Doo has been in a very dark and violent, place. I mean, like I said, they had the apocalyptic Scooby-Doo comics, and if you're a fan of Supernatural, you already know they did an episode called Scooby Natural, where they put Sam and Dean Winchester into the Scooby-Doo universe, and it got pretty violent, and it worked really well. It's still one of the top 10 best Supernatural episodes to me. Phenomenal episode. If you haven't seen it and you're a Scooby-Doo fan, trust me, watch it. It's amazing. You'll love it. So Scooby-Doo in a adult universe, dark, violent, brutal, can work if done correctly. As I said, the comic books in a Supernatural episode. So when I heard HBO Max was going to do a TVMA Scooby-Doo show, I was excited. I was hyped because I would love to see something like that. That is until the teaser came out for Velma, and the press conferences started rolling out, and it's not looking good. First off, this whole show screams that they're trying to appease so many people. Why? The Scooby-Doo has worked for years. Since the 60s, Scooby-Doo has worked with no pushback from anybody. But you're doing this now. Why? Because it's 2022 and you have to appease everybody. Scooby-Doo does not need to be changed. It works fine just the way it is. If you want to change the race of the characters, do it in a respectful way, do it in an appropriate way, and do it in a way that makes fucking sense. They're not doing that. They're not. In fact, they're actually poking fun at the original fans who got angry. Well, let me rephrase. They did it before any fans could push back, so they could say, oh look, we made fun of ourselves. Come on, you can't do that. We did it to ourselves. In the trailer, you see Velma sending a message to HBO Max saying how, you know, it's wrong that they made Jonah Jetson a lesbian, not man crazy, and that the word that she would use to describe her disgust is jinkies, and then saying, I hope you all die, basically trying to reenact how they think Scooby-Doo fans are going to react to what they're doing to Scooby-Doo in the show. Which, I hate to tell you, but there's most of the Scooby-Doo fans out there are pretty respectful. I mean, I'm one of them, but seeing stuff like that where you're taking jabs at the fan base because you know you're doing something that the fans are going to fucking hate, I mean, that just shows the immaturity level of the creators of the show. But that's besides the point. When she's done sending a message, she's like, well, at least she's still white. Okay? Oh, and yeah, apparently that's not even the worst part. They're for no reason changing the race of the characters. They're making, I think Velma is going to be, I think they said, I think Velma's going to be Indian. They're making Daphne, they're making her Asian. They're making Shaggy, well, sorry, they're not calling him Shaggy in the show. They're calling him Norville. Norville's going to be black. And Fred is still going to remain white. And by the way, Scooby-Doo will not be in this show. Thank God. I would hate to see how they would tarnish Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo will not be in this show. He will not. I think they said that, no, Scooby-Doo was always meant for kids and they're going to keep him out of this adult-themed cartoon, which, I mean, is kind of stupid because Scooby-Doo appeared in the fucking apocalyptic comics, and he appeared in Scooby Natural, which was really fucking, like, violent and dark, but whatever, right? Fucking make your excuses all you want, whatever. I have a feeling they couldn't really find anything to change on Scooby, so they just said, fuck it, we're not going to put him in, we can't do nothing with them, because they're fucking lazy. The creators of the show are lazy. They went on a press run when they were announcing it and said, oh, there could be a chance where Velma could have a crush on Daphne and Fred could have a crush on Norville. Why? And look, we already have Velma in another movie recently turned lesbian, which the way they did that is not even as bad as what HBO Max is doing with Velma. The way they did it in the Trick or Treat movie is just she has a crush on another girl and it's not shoved down your throat. It's done pretty okay, like, but I don't see a point in changing her sexuality when Velma has always been straight most of the time. There were some adaptations of Scooby-Doo I did miss, so if you know if Velma's been gay in any other iteration of any movies or books or shows, please tell me in the comments down below. But from what I know, Velma's mostly liked men. In the 90s crossover with Johnny Bravo, she had a crush on Johnny Bravo. She had a crush on Seth Green and Seth Green's character in the live-action movie. She kissed Sam Winchester in the Scooby Natural episode. She dated Shaggy in was it Mystery Incorporated? So, I mean, that's done with way more respect, and I will give it that. It's done with way more respect than what HBO Max is doing, but it's still unnecessary. But at least it didn't shove it down your throat. What they're doing on HBO Max, sorry, dog barking, is disrespectful and shoved down your throat, and changes made for no absolute reason to something that doesn't really need to be changed. Scooby-Doo characters were fine on their own, and now you're saying that Velma is a two-dimensional character? She's honestly one of the most intriguing characters in Scooby-Doo. If you watched all the animated iterations of Scooby-Doo, she's actually the one that's most intriguing and actually has a lot more personality changes within the animated series. It's crazy. If the creators actually take the time to watch Scooby-Doo, they would know this, but they didn't. They're just like, fuck it, change everything because it's 2022, we gotta appease everyone, it's all about my agenda, fuck the Scooby-Doo fans. That's how these creators are doing the show, and it's distasteful. And honestly, it's just about as bad as the Santa Inc. show, I think it's called, from Seth Rogen. Almost as fucking bad. Because that show was just pure men suck, fuck men, all about women shit. This show is all about fuck you. If you don't like this show, you're sexist, you're racist, you're homophobic, fuck you. And it doesn't have to be like that. Like I said, the Trick or Treat movie, I don't understand a lot of the backlash that's coming from it. I mean, like I said, Velma has been mostly into men from what I understand, but the way they did, like, her having a crush on a girl type of bullshit, they did it in a non, like, you know, shoving it down your throat way. You know what I mean? It's done in the most respectful way they can. And they didn't shove it down your, like, anyone's throats. It wasn't like saying, oh, if you don't like this, you're homophobic in the movie. No, it was just one done thing, whatever, done. This is just saying, fuck you. If you don't like this, you don't like change. Fuck you. Let things change. Things need to change. Not really. When something has worked since the fucking 60s. It's worked since the motherfucking 60s, guys. And it's still going to this day. If something needed to be changed, they would have done it in the 70s, in the 80s, or the 90s, or the 2000s, or the 2010s. They would have done, or hell, well, when they're doing it in the 2020s. But you see what I'm getting at? They had every opportunity if it needed to be changed in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. They had every opportunity to change it. But they never did. Do you know why? Because Scooby-Doo works the way it is. There have been iterations where they do spice things up, and it works. Look at a thing like Mystery Incorporated, which, by the way, another kid-friendly dark, but it is dark. People fucking die in Mystery Incorporated. That worked. Be Cool Scooby-Doo. That's a very divisive Scooby-Doo cartoon, but it's still regarded as a really good Scooby-Doo cartoon. I mean, a pup named Scooby-Doo was a huge change from them going from like high schoolers or college kids to little kids. It was a huge change, and it worked. I'm just saying, the creators of the show didn't have to do that. Imagine the response if they would have done a very accurate, like, homage to Scooby-Doo that was dark, violent, gruesome, TVMA, but stayed true to what made Scooby-Doo great. Imagine how well that would have done. Bring back the original cast. I mean, Glenn Howerton as Fred, that seems fine, because I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but imagine bringing the original cast back, making an adult-themed Scooby-Doo cartoon. Imagine the popularity that show would garner if you get the right people behind it. It would blow up. It would be popular, because a lot of Scooby-Doo fans nowadays are mostly adults. They would love something like that. Bring back Matthew Lillard to play Shaggy. You know how great that would be? But no, because it's 2022 and these creators have an agenda to push on you and shove down your throat, they say, fuck you. You don't like this, you are racist, you are sexist, and you are homophobic. You are nothing but a dirty sleazeball who doesn't like any change. That's not how you treat the fans. It's really disrespectful. Anyway, that's my rant over. I will not be watching Velma. I refuse to at all acknowledge it anymore after this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of it. If you watched the teaser, tell me how hard you cringed. I cringed pretty fucking hard. And yeah, let me know. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys with my review of the Modern Warfare 2 campaign.